And hello, 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 hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good night, honey, good morning, good afternoon, depending on what time you're looking at this thing. Baby, welcome to another edition, another installment, honey, of the Donut Factory Commentaries and Chronicles. My darlings, whew, when I tell you we got some shit up in here today, we got some shit up in here today because, baby, shit just got real. And I want to make sure that we talk about as much as I can, honey. So we got a number of donuts that's going to be made today, my darling. So, honey, I hope you have a lot and many of your cups of teas and carrying on, my darlings, because, honey, we finna get into this. Now, before I get started, whatever, I see, yeah, y'all coming up in here doing me, honey. Come on up in here. Wait a minute, I'm trying to get cute and trying to hold this, let this thing do right. Let me say, I'm going to wave to all of y'all and Karen. I'm going to come and acknowledge y'all in a minute. Let me get started. I got some of y'all criticizing me, saying that I talk too much and that I don't get straight to the point. But we got a number of donuts, honey, that I have on the menu today. So I want to make sure that we get into this together, okay? So before we get started, let me put down here in the comments that if you want to know anything about me, honey, I encourage you to go to my website at www.dishingtea.com. Please go there and like and subscribe and all of that kind of stuff and find out more about Dishing Tea and all there is. Find out about my books, my oils, and all that kind of stuff. All that is at dishingtea.com. And then let me put this proviso here too, that tomorrow, which is Thursday, March 7th, at 5 p.m., the time has changed, is at 5 p.m. tomorrow, on the radio show, Dishing Tea with Big Meach, we will be interviewing the one, the only, the iconic Miss Martha Wash. So let me put that down here too, in the comment section. You can go to blogtalkradio.com/dishing-tea. You can also call in and listen by phone at 347-205-9183. That there is the radio show call-in number. Okay? Yeah, and put that down here in the comments so that you guys can get that information. For those of you who are in there, please share this with everybody. Okay? So y'all clowning already. I'm gonna come to these comments in a minute. Let me get up in here because, like I said, there's a number of donuts, honey, on the menu today. First off, of course, being sour cream flavored donuts with this damn R. Kelly shit. That motherfucking interview, honey, was absolutely, it was a nightmare. That was hell on wheels. That was everything. And I have to give it to Miss Gayle King, honey, because Gayle just did her motherfucking thing with that interview. And I'm going to break that down in just a minute. Also, another donut that I'm going to be making today that's on the menu, honey, we got the double chocolate dip donuts, honey, because I've got to talk about I've got to talk about these children, Monique and Sydney, because, baby, listen, they just did something on their radio show today. Was it today? Yeah, it was today. And I'm real tired of them, you know. And see, they do not spill over into the other donuts that I have on the menu, honey. They the double chocolate chip, honey. But this one here, we got the Boston cream, honey. Boston cream donuts is gonna be Miss Oprah Winfrey. And I think this is going to be one time that I am going to disagree with her assessment for this interview that she did, honey. Y'all know usually very rarely that I disagree with Oprah. However, this time I'm going to disagree with her respectfully, and I'm going to get all off into that. I did not watch the documentary. I only watched the interview. Okay, I didn't want to see that damn documentary because I didn't want to hear about that fucking documentary. I just, at this particular time, honey, it's ridiculous for them to have made that. I'm pissed off with the director. I'm pissed off with the two boys that did all that shit, and carrying on. And so we're going to get all off in there. So yeah, I got a couple of Boston creams, honey, that we're going to be doing about Miss Oprah. Okay. And then for the Krispy Kreme glaze that everybody just loves, honey, I'm going to tie this in again because I want to revisit the whole Steve Harvey Monique thing. I talked about that once before, but there's some other comments that then came out that I've been looking at and noticing and carrying on that I want to make sure that we talk about, okay? So those are the donuts that I'll be serving today. Hopefully we get to them all. But right now, everybody is looking to, they want some of this damn sour cream, honey. So sour cream donuts are right here, coming up, piping hot. So let's get right into it. Let me say this about Mr. R. Kelly, Robert Kelly. Do I think that he's innocent? Hell motherfucking no. I do not believe that he's innocent. I do not believe that this plea that he did with this interview, honey, I don't believe that's going to help his case. I do not believe that he did this interview, first of all. I do not believe that folks have allowed him to come in front of the cameras to do this, what he has done. Now, as I listened to the interview, and this is only the snippets because from what I'm understanding, they're supposed to be playing the entire interview sometime tomorrow on the CBS network. Now, from what I'm understanding, this interview is about an hour and 20 minutes, okay, about 80 minutes long or something like that. So what's up on YouTube has been as a 12-minute excerpt, but it's not a full 12 minutes. It's like maybe 6.5, 7, and then they got all this commentary and stuff that's afterwards. But okay, I'm trying to get this light right. They done changed the light up in here in this river. Oh, there we go. Hold on, let me so y'all can really hear me. I'm trying to deal with these headphones and using this earphone speaker. But anyway, let me say this about Mr. R. Kelly. Because what I'm seeing is that he professes his innocence. And here is why I think he professes that. All of his escapades, or alleged escapades, let me put it that way, they all started off with the participant being willing at some particular point. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that somehow when it all started, they agreed to be in his presence, to be in his company. They agreed. The sexual activities in the beginning were agreed upon in some kind of way. Okay? Having said that, this is where it gets tainted, because I believe that because he thinks that it started off that these folks, you know, he went and, you know, did little googly eyes with the young girls, allegedly. I got to say allegedly. You know, they got all smitten and things, and so they were willing to come with him. Parents were willing to sit down there and you know, say, oh, okay, well, he's trying to get them into the music business. And so they signed off and said, yes, they can go with him and carry on. A lot of this allegedly has been the pattern. So you willingly come into the presence of R. Kelly. And so what happens is, or has happened, in my theory, is that after everything has happened, after they got into the graces, after, you know, the first consensual escapades had gone down, then there's no longer R. Kelly. You start to learn who he is. Okay? and you start to understand what all this is, and then you start to understand what that was, and understanding the price of being in the music industry. You understand, this is quote unquote paying your dues and all that kind of stuff. This is what I believe is going on in his head. Okay, because for him to end this interview, and the snippets and the sections that I've seen of it, in this interview, for him to sit down there and to believe that his own sexual abuse had nothing to do with altering his behavior today, for him to believe that his actions with these young girls is not to be in question. For him, he never, and then in the snippets, he never talked about Aaliyah, because when Gail asked, have you ever slept with anyone under the age of 18? He emphatically said no. Now, we all know that he married Aaliyah. We all know that she was underage. And we all know that they were fucking. Okay? Point blank. Exclamation point. So, that there is a lie. Okay? According to the children in the documentary, everyone with their story that they've described, that they've told about the layer and carrying on, it's really something that in his mind he does not believe that he did anything wrong. And what he said also is that he's throwing blame on the parents. I'm still trying to get the light right. He's saying that the parents are responsible because they were the ones to sit down and give their daughters to him. Okay, and then I was going to say allude to the fact. No, he flat out stated that because the money stopped coming in and this, that, and other, now all of a sudden the parents want to say that he kidnapped their children and this, that, and the other. Not one time is he taking responsibility for anything. He is crying and saying that he is the victim. In fact, that's one of the things that Gail said. You are painting yourself to be a victim here. So when they play the full interview, honey, this is going to be a doozy, because she says he had many emotional breakdowns. And yeah. So I'm here to say, child, listen, these new allegations that then came out, and these new charges that he just got arrested for and carrying on. As a matter of fact, before coming into the Donut Factory tonight, honey, I was told that he was rearrested, so he's back in custody again. So now we have to understand what the fuck is going on, and what is it that he's going to need in order to sustain himself. Now, let me go here, because see, here's the doozy. I'm going to say, I know a lot of y'all are sitting up here saying and comparing him to Jussie Smollett because of how he sat up there and said, think, why would I do this? It doesn't make sense. Use your common sense. Why would I sit down here and hold these girls hostage and this, that, and other, blah, 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 blah. And I know many of you are saying, well, he's very convincing. And hey now, he's very convincing, and he's telling the truth. Like Jussie Smollett said. Jussie did the same thing. That would be stupid of me. How can I sit down here and do this knowing that the consequences of this, and this? And I know that comparison is going to be there. I know that the compassion behind all of that is there. And for those of you who think that Jussie Smollett is completely a liar and that he's 100% guilty, you guys are going to compare these two stories. My whole thing is this: in Jessie's case, I believe that this is bigger than Jussie. I think this is so much bigger than him. I think Jessie's becoming a fall guy because the stuff is becoming too convenient. In R. Kelly's case, this has already been established and documented. We have years and years. Hey, all right, baby. We have years and years and years and years of documentation and allegations that support this. Okay. And yes, he beat that case in 2008 or whatever, but I believe it was simply because the children did not have the right evidence to prove that this was that. And on top of it, from what I'm understanding from the documentary, was that the one girl that was in the initial video, the parents and stuff didn't want to testify against R. Kelly because allegedly they got paid off. So, when the money looks good and carrying on and folks are doing this, that, and the other, it becomes that kind of thing. Now, here is where it gets a little sloppy again, or even more sloppy and even more messy. What's the one girl? They showed her the one that, oh damn, I can't call her name right now, but on Entertainment Tonight, the R. Kelly's people and stuff released an audio tape of Lil Miss Thing saying that she said, I've been saying over and over and over again, I have not been kidding, I'm not here against my will, I want to be here, blah, 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 blah. So for me, this sounds as if, I won't say, I don't like to say the word brainwashing or whatever. What I will say is these kids have gotten up under his spell, his allure. They've gotten into that camp. This is a lifestyle that they think that they want to have. And right now, y'all know how people are. You can't tell me nothing. If I want to do it, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. And so these parents who are looking for who are looking for their daughters and carrying on, they're not coming back. And see, here's the thing. When they turned 18, they became legal. So you can't go out to no grown folks or whatever. This is why the allegations and stuff are, when everybody's saying that when he did this, we were this age when it started. Now these people are over the age of 18, they're legally grown or whatever. And see, this here goes into that psychology now, because right now you're grown. And see, if you've grown at this particular stage, then hell, you can do what the fuck you want to do. I'm not holding you here against your will, but if you want this record contract, then this is what you're going to do to stay there. If you want to sit down there and be with me, you're going to do X, Y, and Z, because this is what's required to be here. And for those who are staying, those who sit down there and are defiant against their parents or whatever, that there says consent. So in his head, this is just my theory, I believe this is why he keeps saying that he's innocent. And this is why the things are going the way that they're going. You see what I'm saying? So now we have somebody who's living in an altered state of reality based on coerced approval. And yes, I'm going to say coerced, because right now, if they were rabbits and you're dangling a carrot in front of a rabbit, honey, of course the rabbit is going to bite if it's hungry. How about that? You see? So now I really believe that these are some of the nuances that we have to deal with when dealing with this particular case. His child, he cut the fuck up with his crying and carrying on and how we fucking with him and this, that, and the third. And here's the thing, though. He keeps saying he want to have a relationship with his children. Now, my whole thing is this. From what Andrea says, she never stopped him from having a relationship with the kids. He's the one that sat there and said, well, I've been gone all the time. I'm on the road. I'm here. I'm there. You never once taken your kids out on the road with you. And from what I'm understanding, one of his kids is transgender now. He has a transgender daughter. Okay? Male to female. I'm saying it like that because I don't want y'all to get it confused. One of his sons has now become a trans woman, or in the process of transitioning. And so, there's bad blood there and carrying on. I've seen the headlines of some things that the child have said. I've not read it and I've not wrapped my teeth around it or whatever, but this has been going on for some time. And he's claiming that he needs to spend time with his kids. And we have, there's something here, honey, that's missing. Okay? Let me bring your comments and stuff in before I go to the next set of donuts that we finna get. John is up in here. Kenyatta, Keon, Kent, BJ, Lorenzo. Okay, hey, what's up, Keon? Unc is good over here. Okay, waving. Hey, Meach, says Lorenzo. Keonde is here. David Barner. Hey, baby. What's going on? Keon says, are we talking about R. Kelly donuts with sprinkles made of his ears? Okay, Christopher is here. Keon, you say what? Martha Wash give it to you. Yes, Martha Wash is coming, honey. Hodges up in here. Chemo, you say, nah. Are you still going to go live with Miss Wash on tonight? No, that's not tonight, baby. We do it Martha on Thursday. Thursday, she's going to be on the radio show. And that's at 5 o'clock Eastern time on the radio show. Vance is up in here. Keon, you say what? Miss Kelly just missed... She just missed Oscar season. You so fucking stupid. Okay, was that the performance of her life? Did she give an Oscar worthy of a performance? Carl is here. David is here. Tommy is here. David, you say, well, I just love glazed donuts. Okay, Jackson is here. Otis is here. Okay, Mike is here. David Brock, you said R. Kelly is full of shit. All right then. Keon, you said Roberta Kelly is acting up. Okay, now she's Roberta. You so stupid. Keith Tasty is here. Jesse is here. Mitchell is here. Marlon is here. Storm is here. Okay. Russ done came up in here. Peter done came up in here. Okay. And Keon, you said what? I serve a God that repays and reveals all. When you use the gifts that God has blessed you with for the dark acts, you shall pay. Now that's okay. That's the sentiment there, honey. Calvin came up in here. Larry is up in here. Mario is up in here. Dominic is up in here. Keon, you say Jesse got caught tricking with trade, and they ran off with the money before he got the dick. Child, that's funny, honey. That ain't no trade gone bad, child. Everybody want to believe that, but I don't think that is. Mario, you say what? Everybody done knew about R. Kelly. Jesse case is way different than Robert's. Yes, it's way different. It's way different. But my point that I was making is that listen to the arguments, because everybody, when making a convincing argument, Jesse said the same thing. Why would I do this? That would be stupid. And knowing this and knowing this and knowing this and knowing this, I have nothing to gain from this, he told Robin. And then here we have R. Kelly with Gail. Y'all don't want to believe the truth. I'm innocent. I'm trying to tell y'all this. I'm fighting for my life. I can't have no relationship with my kids. I can't do this. I can't do that. And y'all want to be the public, and y'all sit up there listening to lies. And I'm telling y'all, those people are lying and blah, 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 blah. And it's very heartfelt. It's emotional. He got to crying and snotting and things and all of that, and just blew the fuck up. Okay, and so some folks are going to compare those and say, see, you can't trust them. Because they entertainers. This is what you do. You do this shit as a living to entertain. You know how to sit down there and get emotional in the song to sell the song or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So it is something, okay, that just to make that correlation. Keon, you say R. Kelly is Willy Wonka for black girls. Okay. Well, that was the name of one of his albums, wasn't it? The Chocolate Factory. Okay. Keon, you say, well, go back and watch the old Selena Johnson interview. She talks about how R. Kelly kicked her out of the studio because she brought her husband. Yes, I do remember that. I remember that all day. And she had they had a time about that. Honey, Selena Johnson, that's one of my sisters, honey. So, yeah, I'm very familiar with that story. Okay. Otis Mack is in. Hello there, Otis. I said bye, honey. Bye. I said bye. I love you, Otis Mack. Okay. You said you'll be here in Atlanta March 16th to the 18th. Hope to see you. I hope to see you too, honey. You keep me posted in my inbox and let me find out where you're staying and all that, because, darlings, we have to meet each other face to face. And yes. And do all the necessary things, honey. You understand? Because I need one of those vitamins, honey, up close and personal. Okay. Terry is up in here. Eric is up in here. Hey, what's up, Eric? Okay, Greg done came up in here. Eric, you say what? What do you think about his claims that he wants to be with his kids but don't want to give the mama that support money? See, that's what I'm talking about. When we talk about the altered state of reality, honey, how in the fuck did you sit down here and say that you trying to have a relationship with your children, but you're not doing what you need to do to take care of the kids? Okay, now here, at one point in time, Drea said that he was a good father at one point. But whatever that changed and he became this particular ogre and was not taking care of the responsibilities and carrying on. And I want to say this is around about the time of the divorce when she left him and things. Yeah, we have a problem with that. So what we have is inconsistencies. And it's these kind of inconsistencies that fuel the fire with what the allegations say. So, honey, either you're going to come clean or you're not. But see, here's the thing, because, mind you, somehow or another, he did not have the cash or enough liquidated so that he could take care of his own bail and shit. Remember? Because a woman paid his bail, that $100,000. Now, whoever did that shit, girl, wait a minute, honey. I need to know who the fuck you are, because I need friends like that, because you gave that to the courts. $100,000 that you ain't gonna see again, bitch. You got that kind of money? For real? Really? Okay, very interesting. Marcus came up in here. Okay. Lorenzo, you said, now which one of these crazy women is going to pay his $160,000 child support to get him out? Oh, that's right. Because that's why he got arrested this time, right? I was told he didn't have the money. All of the child support, he only had half of it or whatever. They said he needed to have it all in order to get out or something of that nature. I just heard that. I heard this secondhand. So I've got to get that particular story. So is that's what he's amount? That's the amount? $160,000. Well, shit, the bitch done paid $100,000 to get him out. Really? They couldn't use that first $100,000 to give that to the mama? No, because that's a separate charge, ain't it? So no, that's something else. But see, here's the thing. Where are all the super fans? See, the fans and stuff that flock to his music and carrying on, and those who still believe in his innocence, or for those of you who feel as though I'm only in it for the music, this is what you're paying for. Okay? Then if that's what it is, go ahead on out there and get that shit, honey, and get that child support together. Y'all go ahead on and put it on this book so he can get the babies fed. Since he claimed he wants to have a relationship with his children, because now he's going to need the public to do that. Y'all sit up there when all this broke, the whole Mute R. Kelly movement, which I'm not sure that I agree with. Let me put that out there. I'm not sure if I agree with the movement itself, but I understand why it exists. Okay? When you have these kinds of things going on, and you have someone who is preying on women and young girls and carried on, why will we still fund them? I understand his gift is everything. He's a musical genius in some regard or whatever. I prefer him as a producer versus a singer. So what do you do when you have that dichotomy there? You see, because, you know, there's good and bad in everyone. We all know that and carrying on. But now when your bad starts to hurt the masses, when your evil is starting to become detrimental to the health and well-being of mankind and womankind and society at large, then we have a problem. And for us to be so blinded and jaded and want to continue to support that in some kind of way, what are we absolutely supporting? You see? And so then it becomes the whole thing. It becomes a personal thing. And this is not a judgment call. This is just, it becomes a personal thing in understanding what it is. I mean, hell, there's some songs, that last album, what's the nasty album that he made? The Black Panties album, honey, all of that is fucking music, child. I like it because, hell, when I'm putting on my mood, you know, my mood tape and, you know, want to get a little personal. I mean, hell, it fits the mood, you know. So do I stop because I don't want to? But hell, I never bought it. I never bought any of the music, so none of my money went to it. I just have a copy of it or whatever, or got it off and listened to it on YouTube and things of that nature. So my money never went into it. But at the same time, do I feed into his message? Do I feed into the backstory, knowing what he's about? You see what I'm saying? And so we have to do this with everyone, because it's not just him. It's not just it comes down the pipeline, because now we are so sensitive now in this Me Too, the Time's Up, Mute R. Kelly, and this, that, and the other. We're so sensitive to these particular movements and this particular time, to where now the slightest little thing can have some kind of implication. And you really want to know the truth of the matter is, and I really believe that all of these movements, all of what we're dealing with society, honey, has a bigger implication behind it. And the bigger implication behind it is that every last one of us need mental health services. We need to sit down and make sure that every year, just like we go get our checkups, supposed to go to the dentist every 6 months and all that kind of stuff, that we go to a mental health professional. All that needs to be covered by insurance. And I believe that a lot of this, honey, is opening up that door to have the greatest conversation. And that there is the stigma of mental health, and being able to dissect these things so that we could all be on one accord, or at least living in the same state of reality. You see what I'm saying? So, and then help us to compartmentalize those things that need to be dealt with, and deal with issues. And so what we all have here, what we're seeing, I think that's becoming the greatest issue throughout all of this. Okay? So, honey, this R. Kelly thing, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere until this child end up in jail somewhere. Okay? And quite frankly, do I believe he deserved to be in jail, child? I'm going to tell you like this. Not just him. Here's where it is. Now, wait a minute. I got to stand up because my ass is hurting off of this damn stool. Here's where it is. If you take this motherfucker to jail and put him in jail, you better go after all of his yes men, his entire team of people, everybody who played a role in making sure that I've heard the word sex trafficking. They're calling him a sex trafficking ring, which I guess in this case would fit. You go get all his motherfucking yes men and lock their asses up too. Particularly, I have been still just absolutely livid with the road manager, the best friend or whatever, who said in the documentary that they have forged those papers for him to marry Aaliyah. When he said that out loud and admitted to that, honey, that there should have been jail time all day. That there should have signed his ass to a cell next door to Rochelle and Big Bubba. That should have signed his motherfucking cell. He should have had his number right there, 21357. Honey, no. Because all that we know of R. Kelly to be in this public persona has started with that action there publicly when he married Aaliyah. Okay? I have a problem with that. And so if we're going to go after him, then we need to go after everybody else who played a part in that, because he didn't do that by himself. He couldn't do that by himself. If you listen to what's going on at the compound, I'm going to say the compound, allegedly, okay? If you hear what's going on with all of that, my darlings, he couldn't do that by himself. He had the power and carried on because he's paying these folks. And didn't nobody want to miss out on a fucking paycheck. Didn't nobody want to tell him no. Nobody had the chutzpah, the balls, the kahunas, or hell. Didn't nobody even stand up to him as, being a man and said, you know what? You wrong. Nobody stood up to this motherfucker, at least not in the numbers. You may have one or two folks, but those who did and things, apparently they must have lost their jobs, because we don't hear about them. We only hear about those who said, well, we did this, and oh, we knew he was going to do that. Oh, we went down to the malls, and oh, we did this for the girls. You know, which was? Rather?
No, BFP.
Oh. All right. So, yeah. Everybody needs to go down. You hear me? Everybody that had anything to do with it over all these years, over all 30 of these years, honey, everybody that has something to do with this need their asses to go down. Let me go back to the comments. Okay, we had a few folks that came up in here. Lorenzo, you said, yes, sir. Eric, you said, that lady got a 7-figure settlement from the death of her daughter. The one who bailed him out? Wow, okay. Lorenzo said, you better preach that. Thanks, baby. Ricky that came up in here. Lewis is up in here. Lewis, you say, what? I know I do. What, need mental health services? Lorenzo, you say, what? Concerts canceled means no ticket sales, which means no income, which means nobody gets paid. He put child support on the back burner. Okay, and you say, Lorenzo, you say, yes, everybody needs to be locked up. Okay, needs to clink, clink. Eric, you say, the men he surrounded himself with are just as ignorant as him. Hello, and I like how you put that men in quotation marks. I love that. Because, yeah, they were. Because, see, listen. Here is one of the aspects that we know the music business to be. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Okay? That there is, you know, for whatever reasons, we have allowed that to be the moniker of what the industry is all about. So you got fast women, groupies, this, that, and the other. The entourage always want the perks of all of that. So because this is the person with the name and everybody come to see him, well, hell, he can't fuck everybody. So here the entourage get, you know, the leftover. They get the pick of the dude. And the reason being is because shit, they there, and this is the whole party scene. You see? So they reap the benefits of all of that, and then of course to stay in the realms of it, they're gonna do whatever it takes. So yeah, they need to go down. Okay, Lewis, you say the parents do too. The parents that sold their children to him, lock their asses up too. You know what? I totally agree. Didn't I say everybody? Everybody who has something to do with this. If you sat down there and you took money from him, and then want to sit up there and say he got my child and blah 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 blah, bitch, you took their motherfucking coin. You took the coin. Point blank. Okay? It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Now, let's go here. Another donuts, honey. Let me go down the menu because I said I had some double chocolate donuts, right? Oh, no, let me leave the double chocolate because right now that Monique shit is going to hurt my head. Okay, but because we're dealing with Gayle King and her interview, let's go over here to Miss Oprah, honey. This is the Boston Creams. Boston Cream Donuts, honey, right now. Okay? I watched the after Neverland interviews. Okay? Tony Hall just came up in here. Hey, baby. And here's where I am with that. This is one time I'm going to disagree with Oprah. I'm going to disagree with her, but I'm going to do it respectfully because I hear what she was trying to do. But I'm going to disagree with her because not that I don't think she should not have done the interview. Because why not her? Okay, somebody was going to get that interview. Why not her? You know, she's black press and carrying on. I have a problem, or what I disagree with is in her approach to look at sexual abuse from a different perspective. What she did was basically was corroborate the story that these kids said in the documentary. She took the angle of not wanting to blame the victim, okay? And maybe this is how we need to treat all of these particular kinds of subject matters and carrying on with. not blaming the victim and not coming out saying, well, why did you and how come you and you. She took the avenue of wanting to show that sexual abuse is not abuse. The word abuse, becomes misleading because oftentimes those who are sexually abused or assaulted or whatever, it is not in an abusive form. It is usually coming from the form of a loving, caring perspective. And so it's a grooming and a nurturing that happens. And then over time, as this continue on, built up a trust to where this kind of behavior becomes natural or expected because this is what, quote unquote, we do. That was the approach that she had taken. Okay. And I understood where she was going. But my trepidation is, Miss Thing, they have been saying this about Michael for so long. And when Michael was proven innocent, none of the evidence there, they had no evidence outside of him saying he slept with little boys and had the boys in his room. Outside of that, these two boys, absolutely, they went to the trials. And they said that Michael didn't do it, and they said that under oath. Now they are saying that Michael told them and coached them into lying on the stand. I have a hard time believing that because here's why. The main guy, Wade, I think that's his name, when Oprah asked him about understanding what the abuse was and when this got to be sexual and carrying on, the boy said, I didn't understand it at 11. But then when it kept going, when I was 22, I didn't understand it. And that's where I have a problem. Bitch, at 22 years old, you're not going to tell me what fucking means. You're not going to tell me you don't understand that your dick is working and that somebody touching your dick and you don't understand that you didn't want to be touched and you didn't understand that at 22. That's a motherfucking lie. That is a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell, honey. You're not going to give me that. You are not going to give me that. You understand? Now, I'm going to correlate this with Cosby because I still believe he did not rape those children. Now, had they said coerced, had they said I was intimidated, had they said I was nervous and this, that, and the other, and thought that, I was afraid, had they said any of that, yes, I'd have gave them that 100%. Because no, you can't rape somebody who says, yes, oh, he gave me pills. Bitch, he didn't put no gun to your head and said, swallow the damn thing. He gave it to you to take. You took the fucking pill. Because why? I was intimidated. I thought, and this, and that. See, that there is on you. Now, had you said, yes, all that, then yes, this would have been a different go-round. But the whole thing was with Cosby was that y'all said he raped you. And then for some of you bitches, you came back. You don't go back to a rapist when you sit up there and you say he raped you. What the fuck you going back for? And then for those who got money, bitch, that wasn't rape, you was hoeing. Yeah, I said it. You was fucking hoeing. Anytime there was a money exchange or whatever, and then you went back, bitch, that's a whole move. Okay? So no, Michael, here's the thing with this particular case, and the family keeps saying, oh, this is for money, this is for money, this is for money. And the director of the thing in the interview said that they wasn't getting paid for this. He said they wasn't doing this for any kind of, I forgot the word he used. It was a wonderful word. I can't think of the word right now. But basically he said that they wasn't doing this for the money. And I'm going to say lies. I'm going to say lies all motherfucking day. Because you're not going to tell me that you sit down here and created a documentary, a fucking movie, okay? A movie that you sold to HBO for millions of folks to watch that you sold to make money. Bitch, this wasn't no non-profit organization. You didn't do this to sit down here and say, oh, this is for the good of the people. Bitch, you made this movie to make coin because of the avenues that you're taking. Because otherwise, why in the hell was this at the Cannes Film Festival? How come this didn't go down the Indie Film Festival route if you ain't trying to make no motherfucking money? Huh? Now, let's go. The main guy, Wade. See, I have a problem with his story because you ain't gonna tell me that all of a sudden, now that you done become a father and you got your child and you got to thinking, oh my God, what if this were to happen to my child? How would it happen to your child by someone who was as famous as Michael Jackson if you are not in those particular circles? If you say this has happened to you, I'm sure you're going to put the safeguards in place to make sure it doesn't happen to your children. You have this open up to have these kinds of discussions and this, that, and the other. Now, that's just my feeling and carrying on. I'm not going to sit down there and pass judgment on how folks raise their kids, but it is my conclusion that this is something he was going to do anyway. But now, all of a sudden, you want to sit up here and say, oh, you know, now that I'm a father and all that old crazy bullshit. I ain't gonna say crazy, but you know, we're there. But here's my thing, because from what I'm understanding, a lot of this did not come into play until after he lost his gig out there in Los Angeles. See, he was a choreographer. You were still working with Mike and carrying on choreographing some of the videos or whatever, or at least lending a hand and dancing in there. Okay, now you have lost your job. You trying to sit up here and get a gig, and now don't nobody want to fuck with you or whatever because of your work ethics. From what I was understanding, according to what the research was saying, or the folks who were putting it out there, that he was having a bad work ethic. He wasn't showing up and carrying on to where they got to the point where they fired his ass. And it is alleged that he was on drugs. Now, I heard that once or twice. I don't have all the information on that. But it was said that I heard it once or twice that he may have had some kind of drug problem or whatever. Whatever the case is, bitch, you done sit down here and have opened up a new can to where now we're sitting up here debating on whether or not this is real. But you don't have to sit down there and worry, because for everybody who believes that Michael was a child predator, for those who believe he was, the Chester child molester and carrying on, for everybody who believes that, they are going to rally around him, and give him all kinds of kudos for being strong and bold and this, that, and the other to come out against the doo-wops. Okay? So now what do we have? We have celebrity. We have the opportunity for him to write his book and his memoirs and carrying on, for the book to sell, for him to sit down there and travel to make a coin. We got the whole talk show circuit now, because now that the documentary has aired, everybody's going to want to get a chance to talk, especially now after he done did Oprah. Everybody's going to get a chance to talk. So now you're going to have press junkets and circuits and carrying on, to where now you can sit down here and demand the price for sexual survivors and carrying on. A lot of those are nonprofit organizations, and if they need a speaker to come in, they can sit down there and get funding for that, and they can get him paid. So see, here we have the system and the circuit off of these particular allegations and stuff that you say are true. But I don't know what to believe, because see, Michael has been dead for 10 years. So if you lied at the damn trial, because you said you were a child, you lied at the trial, okay? Then, hell, you didn't even say something right after he died. Michael died in 2009, child. What? You didn't come out then. You didn't come out to the family. You didn't this. You didn't that. Here it is. Michael has been dead and gone for 10 whole solid years. Now, all of a sudden, when he can't come and defend himself, when he can't look at you in your eye and say, what have I done? He can't defend himself right now. And then the director, Oprah, said, well, they're going to ask, the family said that you didn't come and ask the family anything. Why didn't you come and interview the family? The director said, well, this story was from their perspective, not from the Jacksons. This wasn't about the Jacksons. This here was about sexual abuse from their perspective. So why would I interview someone who had their best interest of shutting them down? But they not in it for the money. Bitch, don't give me that. I don't even want to hear that. They probably didn't get no money up front because it's probably low budget. But I bet you wasn't down to donuts, honey. That particular contract, honey, they're going to get everything on the back end. Okay. Don't give me that. But Miss Oprah, like I said, I heard what she was trying to do. But her efforts seem to have supported the alleged victims, in that I don't believe that her goal was to sit down there and to call them out. In fact, it wasn't. What her goal was to sit down there and to help folks to identify the seduction of sexual abuse, and how everybody who, there's something, for everyone, for every good quality that you have an opposing bad quality. And so her point of this interview, and she said it, but then it started to unfold. Her point was to show that this particular thing has a pattern, and yes, this could be someone who is well beloved or whatever, but this is the pattern that they take, and this, that, and the other. And I disagree with the entire interview, because number one, I don't think there should have been a studio audience there, even though the studio audience was made up of sexual survivors, okay, sexual assault and sexual abuse survivers, and their allies, or support system. Let me say that. That's a better word. Support system. So I'm having a problem with that, because see, now what that did was, this became a movement, and this became momentum to do something else. And so rather it being let us stop sexual abuse, this will easily become an anti-Michael Jackson rally. See, because that, because of this documentary, we have a famous name to attach to it. And because he got off, now we got all these other allegations, and these two boys, and they did, and all of that. We have these particular allegations now that will fuel the naysayers who never believed it in the first place. If you never believed Michael Jackson was innocent, this is the type of thing that's going to sit down and catapult this movement into an anti-Michael Jackson thing. Now, if you really want to know the truth about it, I'm a conspiracy theorist. And to understand Michael's catalog or whatever, I wouldn't put it past that this is something concocted by Sony or by anything else, because he has an extensive catalog. When he bought the Beatles catalog, he bought Jimi Hendrix catalog. I read that he bought Jimi Hendrix catalog, and a few other things. So his estate is constantly making coin. Okay, that's too much power, especially for a dead black man. What do? You annihilate it. You take it back down to its basic roots, and there's what this is for me. Okay, and so I disagree with Oprah. I wish she had taken a different approach with that particular interview, because what we have here is that it seems as though she supports the idea that Michael is guilty. And okay, but why that fails me is because I was hoping that this would have been a more broader interview, to where it left you open-minded. It left us to believe or to draw our own conclusions. That's the kind of interview I was thinking that was going to come out of this. But what came out of this was the idea that these babies were seduced and they were sexually assaulted due to sexual seduction. Okay, and carrying on. And so basically you're saying that Michael is guilty. And I have a hard time with that, because he's not here to defend himself. And that's where I am with all that. So for this particular interview, I'm going to disagree with Oprah. And I understand where she was going, but I think it fell flat as far as the mission of that particular interview. I think it fell flat. What we ended up getting was we got male victims talking about they got fucked in the ass or they got a dick sucked or whatever by a superstar. And it happened to me when I was a child. And everybody who knows the pain or the upset of being sexually assaulted, they now gain momentum because everybody's going to rally around that. Especially when the story is about Michael Jackson and as big as his celebrity has been and will forever be, you have someone on that caliber charged with sexual assault. And so now we have America's sweetheart, honey, going down with the ship. And so, because of Michael's celebrity and whatever, it just throws me that Oprah would sit down and say, yes, this has a possibility. Hell, they even asked John Legend, and John Legend said after watching it, he said, I wouldn't put it past it that it's true. So John believes that Michael did it. Okay, and that's fine. If you believe it, I'm not here to challenge you on that because for whatever reasons you believe it. My whole thing is that this interview, when you listen, there's certain questions and carrying on that I didn't buy. Number one, this whole thing about, the idea of not going to therapy and carrying on or whatever this is. Now, the other little boy, the other child, now he's older than the first one because now he's 41 or something like that. And so in looking at his body language and carrying on, there was something wrong with him to begin with. And I don't mean it to be facetious. What I'm saying is he seemed to have been off his rocker from the jump. And so, well, I'm not going to say that because I'm going to say he preyed upon that. Just like they said Michael preyed upon the innocence. Hell, you preyed upon that, on Michael's innocence or whatever. That is what's coming to me. Now, let me put alleged, okay, so that we can make sure we all together. Let me go back to the comments. Lewis, you say what? It wasn't just me. I'm quite sure it was a few women as well. Also, Kelly never made music for children and all. I would never take a 14-year-old girl to see his concert and have her dance with him on stage. Okay, I wouldn't either because that's dumb. That there is dumb. Hey, Tony. Centella came up in here. Diamonds is up in here. Blue Magic. Blue is a Blue. Hey, Blue. What's up, baby? Eric, you say suspect, huh? And Eric, you say, child, I had to go back to make sure I had to go back to make sure it was rape. Okay, right. Okay, Dawn is up in here. Gregory is watching. Tommy, you say, well, I watched most of it. It was disgustingly graphic, blatant gold-digging lies. No matter how rich and powerful a black man is not fucking a black man. Wait a minute. I don't care. No matter how rich and powerful a black man is, no fucking black man could rape 50 white women and not be hung. Okay, I had to read that right. I totally agree, Tommy. I totally agree. Gregory, you say what? They are full of shit, money-hungry bitches. The man is dead. Who gives a fuck? His parents sold his ass to Michael. You know what? How about that? Because now catch that. Because the one, the older one, the one that was real timid and carrying on, he said that him and his mama, they're not on good terms or whatever. So he's trying to sit up here and get through that. And I'm like, I wonder why. Okay, I wonder why. Okay, Diamond, you said, well, now Cookie wanted to be my friend on Facebook. Oh, really? Okay. Tracy done came up in here. Tommy, you say, what? Why no white men going to prison? That's a good question, honey. I can't tell you. I wish I had an answer for that. Tracy, you say, what? They seem to be railroading men of color and tearing down their legacy. I'm just not buying it. Tracy, I agree with you. It's coming across that, yes, black men are targeted and carrying on. And this is across sexual orientations and things, because I got a number of the Power to the People children who want to believe that this attack on black men is doubly important and doubly hard because straight black men are now an endangered species, and no one wants to be bothered with the straight black man and this, that, and other. He's becoming a mockery. He's becoming this. He's becoming that. You know, these same power to the people children, honey, they got upset with Billy Porter and the tuxedo gown and all this, that, and the other. So, child, ain't no pleasing them children. Okay, it's just not no pleasing them at times. So, whatever. Okay, it's just not no pleasing the power to the people children, as far as I'm concerned. But nonetheless, they do have a point with the legacy of black men, or the black male image, you know, or and not just the image, but his prowess, his his mark on the world. You know, it is being tainted with this stupid shit that we do, or that's being done to us. Tracy, you say, I just don't trust the motives of these people and why the parents didn't intervene when it came to their children. Again, here we have, this is Michael Jackson. Okay, I'm going to Neverland and carrying on. So it's interesting. I'm trying to wrap my head around all that too, because it's very interesting, and I am not understanding. I cannot get how the boy said at 22 he still did not understand what was going on. So I'm having a hard time understanding that this 22-year-old boy, a man, has allowed this other man, honey, to continuously to touch him and this, that, and the other in the art that you said you don't know what you were doing. No, yes, the hell you were, because here, at this particular point, as an adult male, are you caught up in the fact that this was Michael Jackson, or are you caught up in the fact of I was gay anyway, or dealing with homosexual feelings, and this was a way to release it? Something with that is just not 100 for me yet. Okay. A time you say, well, right now you want to bring your sugar high. Okay. Tracy, you said, well, it seems they are demonizing the image of black men. Of course they are. You know, and they being the powers that be. I got to stand up again. This damn stool is hurting my ass. Okay, wait a minute. Hold up. Let me get me some libation. Okay? Let me get me some form of libation. Y'all hold on just a second. I got to grab my, all right. Here we go. All right. Whew. So now where were we, honey? I'm outdone, and this particular interview, I'm going to have to side. Well, I'm going to say I disagree. There's a lot of people who disagree with Oprah on this, and you know, here we go with the whole she a sellout, we need to cancel her, she just doing this for ratings and all that old bullshit. I'm not going to subscribe to all of that, because hell, she's been doing this too long. She don't need the kind of ratings like that, child. That's bullshit. I'm not going to subscribe to the whole sellout thing, because again, a lot of the power to the people children, they never liked her anyway. You know, they always say she wasn't down for black folks, and she always had it in for black men. But how she gonna have it in for black men, yet she sat down there and put 400 and some odd black men through Morehouse College? That doesn't make sense. How she gonna be down and have it out for black men, and yet she got one in her bed that's been in her bed for the last 30 some odd years? I don't understand. Why is it that we as black folks feel as though because somebody is not taking care of black folks the way you feel that they should be on there, everybody feels as though because Oprah was, you know, talking about how she came up poor and everything, everybody feels as though she single-handedly needs to go to the hoods and do something in the hoods and straighten out everybody's hoods and go sit down there and make sure that the white man can come into the hood with his green money and give us what we need so that we can sit down here and do this as black folks. I'm sick of all you motherfuckers with that bullshit. Okay, because you're looking for somebody else to handle the problem, and you are not becoming part of the solution yourselves. Now, it would be nice. She got all this coin or whatever. It would be nice. However, let's talk business, because everybody, well, first, everybody want to sit down here and say, oh, well, hell, she with the enemy because she's sitting up there with Harvey Weinstein and all these pictures of her with Harvey. She's sitting up there going to make sure Harvey get off, and she is a plant. She's a token. She's a this. She's a that. Fuck all that noise. And that's all it is noise. Fuck it all. Okay, y'all asses want to sit down here and go through all these particular changes with her. But yet, how many of y'all wrote to Harpo Studios or sent her tweets and emails and stuff to say, you know what, I disagree with this, Oprah. Can we have a talk? Or could you talk about this? Could you this, and this? No, we all bitch moaning there complaining about it. No, we need to sit down and have a discussion about this. And how do you get to her? That's the $45,000 question. But we can make something like this happen. But for this particular interview, I'm going to disagree with her with the outcome of it, because I don't think that she hit the mark with what she was trying to do in trying to explain how sexual abuse is not the right word. It's sexual seduction. Okay, it's what she's advocating. And so throughout the course of the interview, she's outlining that particular point. And in her outlining that point, she's basically saying that she supports them and to hell with Mike. Okay, and it's not that that's a bad thing if that's how you feel. What it does look like is, okay, just bashing Michael, and he's not here to take care of himself or to defend himself. So that's where I am with that one, honey. What's y'all take on that? I don't want to see that old fucked up ass documentary, because it will upset my nerves about children, honey, being sexually assaulted and things. That will upset my nerve. So yeah. That be that. Wait a minute, I got a couple more comments. I may have to call this quick, because I'm trying to stay up. Y'all see my eyes drifting and things. I got to get to getting in things, and I don't want to do this again to fall asleep on y'all. Karen said, "What's up, Meach?" Tracy, you say, "Well, I just think we need to keep the accountability even, not jump on the bandwagon of throwing our own under the bus." You know what? How about that? If we kept it even, if we kept the consequences the same across the board, if everybody would sit down there and do the same kind of jail time or whatever, because Harvey ain't been in jail yet, and carrying on, and so are some of the other ones. Hell, Charlie Sheen has not done anything, okay? And, he just tested HIV positive, last year before, whatever, and all of that. We have a number of issues that we have to contend with, child, and So, yeah, be that as it may. The other two donuts, honey, I'm gonna leave those for later, because if I'm getting tired and I can't go to sleep here on the job. So let me get myself together. I may have to walk around a minute and stand out here in this cold, because I don't know why my sleep just came down on me. Oh, but let's take those two particular donuts and share those and see what we got biting, okay? So yeah, let me end this here, because yeah, my eyes are just doing too much, okay? And I can't go to sleep. I got to stay up. So let's put a pin here, and I will get back with you guys a little bit later on, so that we can finish this particular discussion, okay? So, honey, finish all of your crumpets, because the tea has been dished, and you've been dishing tea right here with Big Meach, honey, at the Donut Factory Chronicles and Commentary. Wait a minute, we got, Miko, let me give you this. I feel that there is a deliberate attempt and agenda to destroy black legacy, especially as it relates to black men. Okay, now I think you just gave me some new fuel. let's go there. Okay, let's go there. What can we do to preserve our legacy? What can we do to preserve it? Because see, here's the thing. As I said before, the children are upset with Billy Porter for having on this damn tuxedo dress. And I've got to go see this interview because Judge Joe Brown is the caption is a quote that he said, because he said, what this is that put on this dress is not a man. And I was like, what this is? What are you talking about? So I had to go and listen to that because I got into my feelings off the headline. Because I'm like, hold up, bruh. Every time you sit up here and say that you are not anti-gay or whatever, you know, you trying to say that you are pro-hetero attractional male. I get that, but then the message comes muddy because every time you trying to say you pro-male, pro-straight black male, it comes behind a dish or something that you gave to a gay man in the LGBT community, a gay man period, within LGBT or black LGBT. Okay? So now we have to sit down here and get that together. Karen, you say what? You came up in here, you say Billy Porter looked good. Yes, Billy Porter socked. Okay. And especially not knowing the history behind why he did it. You know. So I always ask the question of what is the black male, because every time you want to tell me something, there are no real black men, there ain't no strong black men, this, that, and the other. It's like, what is the image of that? What does that supposedly look like? And every time they get stumped at that question, or they come handing me some hip-hop image that's been fabricated with the pants hanging and sagging and shit. They got on Timberlands and all this old bullshit. And you try to tell me that that's what masculinity is. And it's not. And then you want to sit down and destroy or get rid of the gay community or whatever, because we are the ones who are less perfect, supposedly. So I have no clue as to what to make of this. You know. Tom, you said double double. I fucked little Audrey in the chicken house. We here when we were 9 years old. Mickey and I found extra pleasures wrestling at 11. Now, how the hell did they not know what was happening? Same with 16-year. Wait a minute. Hold on, I just lost it. Oh, here we go. Same with 16-year-olds claiming molestation by female teachers. Rape is a little different from seduction. Neither may be right and even illegal. But hanging out with Michael Jackson at Neverland, I would be as what? Wait a minute, that's a misspell there. But he did not do black boyfriends. Okay, that's a little money right there. I don't know. I missed the typo on that. That's okay. Lorenzo, you say what? So is a real man walking around with his pants down to his knees? That's a good question, but it's not being challenged. See, I always challenge that look in that image, because I'm like, okay, you say that real black men are supposed to be this, and this, but yet look at the representation that we have out here. Okay, and if this is the reputation of what this is, then we need to change it if we don't like it. You know. So, yeah. Okay. Karen, you said, what Billy got his life. People need to understand that there's a real humane spectrum of black men and men in general. How about that? That there is cute, and that's lovely on those particular sentiments. Now, as I said, because y'all gonna keep on them, end up being on here for a little bit and a while longer, but I've got to let me get up to get my eyes and stuff together. I don't even have my glasses. I left my glasses at home, I think, because I have a slight astigmatism and my eyes are getting tired and they're shutting down on me, and it's gonna make it seem as though I'm ready to go to sleep, and I'm not. My eyes are just tired. So I'm going to end this for today, and we'll try to do the rest of this tomorrow. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay, so like I said, finish your crumpets, darling, because the tea has been dished. And you've been dishing tea with Big Meach right here on this edition of the Donut Factory Chronicles and things. Karen, you say, am I okay? Yeah, I'm fine, honey. My eyes are just getting tired, and it's making me sleepy. So I'm at work, so I got to make sure that I don't get into this whole big old thing, you know? Oh, okay, here we go. Miko, you say what? Because I got to read this. Miko, we as black people have to take accountability and responsibility for first playing favorites as to who we support and don't. We have to own up to the fact that we have rewarded bad behavior just to the mainstream. This false machismo, so-called masculine image, the hoteps and the so-called conscious community are getting to the point where they are no different than white supremacists. Now you better... What? Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. I had to. That was too important for me not to read out loud. Say that again. Because it's starting to sound, it's the same fucking rhetoric all over again, just coming from a black mouth and from a black perspective. And because you mad that we don't have the power to enslave whites or whatever, it becomes a whole bunch of fucking, oh. So yeah, yes, child. Okay. Whew. That just did it. Okay. I love you back, y'all. Let me get up off of here because, see, y'all finna get it. Okay, I'll get a second win in a minute. And right now, it's a false sense. I got to rest my eyes. And I don't think I brought my glasses. So let me see if I got my glasses in my bag so that my eyes could get right. Because right now, it's making me sleepy and carrying on. And I don't want to fall asleep on y'all again. I did that when I was in Detroit. I said, ooh. So let me get together and do this. Take and share this with everybody so that we can get this particular conversation going. When we come back, or when I get back, because I got 2 more donuts, I may just have to put them on the menu the next time. Because I want to get back into this Monique and Sydney thing, because I did not like their approach to the whole Oprah interview and carry it on. And then I want to get into the Steve Harvey thing, because again, Monique and Sydney, we did something on their radio show with the whole Steve Harvey, and I think we are missing a point. We're missing something because, again, folks want to call him a sellout or this and the other, but I think we're missing something of his retort and things back and forth with Monique and things. So we missed something that I think I can help to bring out to lighten the situation. But let me get up out of here, okay? So with that, y'all, finish your crumpets, honey, because the tea has been dished. And you've been dishing the tea right here and right now with Big Meach, honey. If you love me, tell a friend. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know this: one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, everything that I do will what? Move forward. I'm going to come back with y'all again, honey, with a couple more things on the menu, baby. This is the Donut Factory Commentaries. Ciao.